Hello, everybody. Let's start today's live. First, I want to introduce the project X FluxAgent. I think we got very good feedback. You can see now we got 23 stars. That's our organic review, because I never ask anybody to give 1 star. I said maybe now you need a fork, but I never say you give 1 star. I think that's now very positive feedback. What does it mean? Because that means now a lot of people think the project idea, a concept is correct. Now we are doing the right things. I think that's now more important, because our channel now, the major goal now will help people without coding knowledge, or maybe learn coding, but don't know how to coding with AI or how to coding. So we'll try to make everybody, even you not learn computer, even not learn coding, even zero coding experience, we'll try to help you can make coding with AI. That's our major goals now for this channel and for this project. Actually, in last weekend, I spent 2 days web coding. What does it mean web coding? Well, for myself, I have more than 20 years coding experience. But when I do web coding, I was thinking myself don't have any coding knowledge. I just ask AI to do the coding. So I have done almost 2 days compare different tools. So I get one result. What's the result? The result now, I can say now there are 2 news. One news is good news, one news is bad news. So maybe I first say the bad news. What's the bad news? The bad news now, if you learn CS, learn computer science in university, or if you learn coding, or you can't as one developer, I guess maybe soon you will be lost your job. Now, I guess maybe in later this year or next year, the AI can totally do most of the job independently. Now that means almost don't need a developer, don't need a human, can do most of the work. That means that if today you are in university, you learn computer science, you learn coding. So you need thinking, maybe after 3 years, 4 years, graduate from university. So there will be no job for you. Now, also now if you are one developer now work in some company writing coding, I can say now will be very soon. Yeah, maybe next year, maybe after next year, all the work can be now done by AI. So I think that's bad news. What's the good news? Good news now for most people, because not everyone learn computer science, not everyone know coding. So the good news is that for most people, you can do coding now. That's good news. Now, I think that's now very good for everybody, because most people, you don't have coding knowledge. You not learn computer science. You don't have coding experience. Now, with AI, you can do coding very well, maybe very soon. Now, that's my feedback. Now, I have spent 2 days total web coding without use any coding knowledge I have. I just ask AI to do the work. So what's now I get actually now I have more feedback, now more feeling. What's the more feeling? I can tell you now. One thing now, we're thinking now the AI just as one developer. So the AI can do the coding, of course, now can do coding. So what's the problem? The problem now, just as any developer, you understand now. If now ask you to do something from scratch, you say, "Oh, I can do it." But if now I said, "Oh, I have one project made by other developer, really code very well. Can you check the code, then do some modification or understand logic?" I can tell you, most of the people now will find it very hard work. It's very hard. So today, AI writes the code. Today, AI writes the project, can do very well. But you can think. This AI just as one normal developer. So AI's work just as one black hole. So we always say the large language model as one black box. Even they OpenAI cloud and they invent the large language model, but they don't know how it works exactly. So same thing. Today we ask AI to write the code. Actually, now it's very hard. If you don't have a lot of coding experience, if you don't know how to coding, it's almost impossible let you to understand the code written by AI. Even you are one very you have a lot of experience. You are one senior developer. I can say it's still very hard to understand the code. The same thing, not just as one real human wrote some 10,000 code, ask you to check. It's very hard to understand. The same thing. So that's another. You can think of this just as the code just as one black hole or black box. So that will be I think we get some problem. So that's why now we have the project X FluxAgent. We try to make the software development from black box to white box, because all the code we try to now make it as a workflow, all just as nodes. If you learn computer before, if you learn computer science, you understand that that's much similar as the UML, as the flow diagram. So the flow diagram, the UML, the most used for non-technical person to communication now with the customers. Say, oh, that's you want, we'll do as this. Then we'll hand over the UML diagram then to the development team now will use that to do the development. So that means that diagram anybody can understand. So we'll try to now make the software development from black box to white box to make everybody can understand. What do I mean everybody? I mean not now don't have coding knowledge, not now technical background, just know the requirement. So you understand what the AI doing. Another thing I want to say now, actually now I have more than 20 years experience now, including development. I can say in the beginning there's no complex concept. In the beginning, the most now programming just use function, not just function. Later now introduce now object, introduce a lot of framework, even introduce a lot of design concept. So let's make things more complex than more complex. So for example, maybe you know JavaScript very well, you know HTML very well, you know CSS very well. But once you ask you to do one project, use React, use Next.js, maybe you got a problem. Because you never know what's Next.js, you never know what's React. Even you are one expert in HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. The same thing now as AI. Because as one human developer, we invest a lot of tools, we invest a lot of frameworks. Why we do this? Because we want to make things simple. We want to make development more easy. But we bring a lot of trouble. So what's the trouble? Because we use a lot of framework, we use a lot of technology. Each package, they have different version, they have different interface. So that got a problem. For example, if you do some software, you get some documentation, you find some code from Google, from GitHub, then you use it, not work. Why? Because the package, they have different version. Your version is older. The same thing for AI. The same thing. AI know coding very well. Actually, AI now can do very good coding now with any language. But for framework, I can say this hard not just as one human, because AI learn a lot, but just as one human don't know what's the difference between different version, different API. So sometimes now AI know, oh, I know this, I know now what's the interface, I know the API, but once they finish the code, oh, the package, that's different version. So that's now that mean now if now one project now just use now basic language, not use any framework, not use anything design concept, just make it now from scratch, then AI can do it very well. Can do very well. So just now we need thinking now AI just as one develop. So because now sometimes now we use a framework because we are lazy. We want to now build now wheel from giant. We don't want to now build from scratch. But AI can read coding very fast. Can read coding now very fast. So that doesn't matter for AI. AI can read from scratch. So the best way I think now, if we ask AI to do coding, is best way not to use any framework. That's the most best way to avoid now any errors. So they'll come back to the original. So we just use function. So you can think now the config UI, the workflow. If you know the config UI how it works, so you should know that actually now that's you can think this just as one function. So all the logic, all the workflow just function and function. So each function has one input, just permit, has one output, just written value. So all the functions now connect together with the workflow. This make one project. So if we use the workflow to make as one coding agent, we can make the coding more simple. Anybody can understand. You don't need any knowledge. You don't need to understand any framework. You don't need to understand any design concept. You just need to know what's your requirement, what's your logic, what's your workflow. So after that, we change it now the coding from black box to white box. So anybody can know what's happened. So that's all. I think now after today's research, I'm very confident. I think we have one very good idea to make the things simple. So I think now once this project finish, anybody now even you don't know coding, you can do coding very well now with this project. Another thing I want to say now, one thing I just now realized because now before I used GitHub now Copilot a lot, but now I think the one function now is very useful. Now just as agent. What do I mean agent? Now because before now we use AI for coding, maybe we ask ChatGPT. We do some research, but still we do the coding. But today we with AI coding agent, AI to do the code for us. You just thinking, AI just one employee do the coding. So that's a lot now. AI coding agent can do the coding. Actually now we do the X FluxAgent. That's one AI coding agent. That's just different things. Before I show you our concept, so we just check what's the traditional AI agent to do the coding. Okay. Still, I want to show you something. Okay. Firstly, now actually now I think it's very cheap now, just $10 per month, but you still can use it for free. Now this is very important. One thing now, because I just now use a lot of GitHub, and not GitHub never pay me anything. Never pay me anything. So I'm not do ads for GitHub. So one thing, you can see the free plan. That's just $0. So you can see now they have 50 agent model. So what's 50 agent model? Now I want to now make one explanation. What's the 50 agent model? So you can think now you have one project, you want to outsource your project. So you design now the requirement. You send some people, some companies say, you please do one project for me. That's one agent request. That's one agent of request. So that means if you have one very good design, then that company can do the coding very well. So that's just one request. So the total 50 now agent model. That means you can, in 1 month, you can make 50 projects. That's ideally. But unfortunately, I guess most people, you have idea, you can ask some people to do it. After some time, you get a new idea. Or even now, the company, they do software not very well. They get a lot of trouble, get a lot of bug. Just as AI. So each time, once you ask AI to do the work, you say, oh, I want to add a new feature. Or you say, oh, I found bugs, you can please fix it. So the each now request, that's one agent model. So if you have one very complex project, then you ask AI to do it. Even 50 times, AI still cannot finish. So that means maybe you now 50 agent model, you cannot do one project because every time AI got a problem. So that's I just explained. I think I use the most simple language to explain what's the 50 now agent model. Another thing I still say now, this agent just as one developer. Now, that's one black box, not just as one real developer. If you don't know coding, even new coding, you still don't know what's now what's the project now, what's the code he wrote. So that's but before we now show you now use AI to do the workflow, I want to show how powerful currently today the AI agent for coding is very powerful now. Even still a lot of trouble, still a lot of problem, but just today, now, maybe not end of this year, maybe next year, even after next year, I think the AI coding agent will do very well. Especially now, once our project finish, I think the AI can do coding very well. Now, even you don't know coding, you know what's happening. You can review the work. You can review the code written by AI with the workflow. I think now we'll make the things now complex to simple. We'll make things now black box to white box. But before we finish our project, if you want to now use AI for coding, I think you still use the old way, traditional way, or black box. Just hire one real developer to do the work. But different thing now, you just hire AI to do the work. You pay the token. Okay. Another good news, I think in our Discord server, a lot of students. So if you have one school email address, you can join the GitHub education plan. So for education plan, that's total no cost. So that means if you're not education, not one student, because now the 50, I said that the 50 now, ideally you can make a 50 project, but if you make one complex project, maybe it will be run very fast now. So the pro plan will be very good at $10. The $10. Now if you pay per month, just $100. But if you are a student, you have a school email address, that'll be free. You don't need to pay the $10. You don't need to pay the $10. I just tell you. Okay. Now let's start. I'll show you now how powerful. I'll show you how powerful. Okay. First thing now, our project actually now has now a lot of update. The X FluxAgent a lot of updates. You can see the time. Even I updated 2 hours ago. So if you have forked the project now, just as me, GitHub. Yeah. If you now have forked project, please sync project. Please make a sync. Yeah. Yeah, update. So you will get the latest code. Yeah. So after that, because now today I tell you now the agent model not work now with the GitHub code space. Because now before now, maybe I just show the concept now. So GitHub, I'll show you because that's now I'll open it. Let me open. I created before. I guess if you now watch the before the previous video, you understand how to set up the project. Okay, that's yesterday. So now two things. One, you need to install now the X config UI. Another thing, install the X FluxAgent. So if you don't know how to set up, now you need to watch now the previous video. Now because if every time I set up now the environment, so it will be take a long time. One thing because we are all beginner. Now. After you sync the project, so in your local copy, you need to do as this to the X FluxAgent. You need to do one data pull. So you need to pull the code to your local computer. So now, what's the GitHub Copilot? That's very easy. You just go to the extension here. You search in GitHub Copilot and GitHub Copilot chat. After that, you get it now. If you click here, you get the window here. There are three options. One, ask now just as you ask ChatGPT now, the normal, the old way. You ask AI how to do something. The editor now, AI now just tell you how to modify code, but you still now do yourself. The agent model, there will be now just as one rule develop, do the work for you. You almost don't need to do anything. You just need to confirm how to do it. But the agent model now does not work with GitHub now the code space. Why? Because now the agent model now the AI agent will directly now update your files. So the code space now that's just a web browser. This is just run in a web browser. But the code is in the cloud. That means now I have tested before it's not working. So doesn't matter. You same thing now because you very easy you can install now the code space VS Code. I guess most people you know this. So you just search Visual Studio Code. You can install. That's because I use Mac. I see the Mac. But if you now other computer, you see now Linux, Windows, other version. You can see other platform. You just install the VS Code. Now that's the same thing, almost no different with the GitHub code space. After you install, you just click now in the left. You just click the extension, such as GitHub Copilot and the Copilot chat. Once you set up, then we'll ask you log in. So log in your GitHub account. So you get the free Copilot. Okay, that's the whole concept. How to install? I'll not show this. Now I'll change it to my computer. I'll show you how to ask AI to do one project for you. Okay, from zero knowledge, total zero knowledge. Okay, let me. Okay, that's my computer. That's my now local VS Code. You can see. If you click here, you click, so there'll be now same thing. That's the same thing. There are three models. So we first ask. So okay, that's now X FluxAgent. So I have created one new folder that's called research, because today we want to show the traditional way. Because now we will do now AI coding now with the workflow. In the new way, we now invented now the new way. But today, now before we do the new way, we'll first check how use AI to do the traditional way, to do the code. Okay, we want to build the project. We have done before. We still now try same thing. We ask AI to write one project to create an audio book video. with the web interface. Okay, so before we do it, I'll show you we still now need to have one prompt. So we ask AI. So now I type we ask AI to give one plan. Okay, I want to build a web I wanted to build a web video creator with AI, which has a web interface to allow user to give the story. To give the story. Then send to the backend to use open OpenAI text to audio, text to image, latest model to create the video script, image, and use FFmpeg to create the video. It should have multiple scenes. Each has a video, has one image. And audio. Please make a AI prompt for this to ask AI to create this project. So we give the idea, we give the concept, then we ask AI to write one prompt to create the project. So let's try it. I will not use the cloud model because the cloud model sometimes got a problem. Now because cloud model can do coding very well. So sometimes we ask a cloud model to say, you give one prompt to create one project. So cloud now will say, oh, I'll do myself. I'll do the. So cloud will give you the code, not give you the prompt. So let's try. We continue to GPT-4. Let's try. Oh. Still, I just want a prompt. Okay. I think the prompt now is good enough. We don't need to refine them now. Maybe we just try. Let me try. Okay, let's try GPT-4. I just want the prompt. I don't want to know a lot of details. Okay, I'm going to. I just need the prompt, and I don't need any file structure. etc. Okay. Now working well. Okay, we copy the prompt. So we go to the research. We created one folder. We call web video create. So we give one. We call readme. Here, not readme. I think a prompt. We call prompt. MD markdown file. Okay, with the copy. Then we now remove. Not looks like a recipe error. We remove that. So. Okay. Now we got the prompt. We got the prompt. Okay. So we just use the latest OpenAI image model. Let's see. We not give the model. We just ask AI to do it because we will try to zero knowledge. We don't know any model. So we don't know any API. We remove this one. We just use AI to make a decision. So we just all the prompts just as the web learning. We said now. You just need to know the concept. You don't know exactly what's the model name, what's the API. Once you need it, you can ask AI. So because today we ask AI to do that, we not give any details. Now what's the model, what's the API? We leave AI. We all leave AI to do it. Because you can think you just as one manager, you as one boss. You don't need to know the details, but you know your requirement. You ask AI to do it. Okay, we have the file. Now we start. Let's start the magic. So we change it to the agent. Agent model. That's just as one. No, just as your employee, your developer. So we select the most powerful model. This is a very new model. That's very powerful. The cloud model, cloud 4 model. So we use this one. This is already because we select the problem file. We just ask. Normally I do as this. I copy relative path. So please. Actually, now a lot of people say you not use please. Now, but we still use please. Please finish the task at the file. So we tell, please finish the task in the file. In the file. Better English. In the file. Okay, finish. Once we finish the prompt, the requirement, then we just tell AI to finish the task in the file. Okay, we just click. Then you can relax. You can watch a movie. You can watch TikTok. So the job is done. AI employee will do the work currently. You can see there's almost nothing we can do. The AI agent, just as one employee, just one developer, they do the work. You just relax. You don't need you just wait. Now, because actually the AI agent just as one real person. They will modify the code in your computer. They will run some shell command in your computer. So that can be very dangerous. So sometimes if they want to delete a file, if they want to change some permission, they will ask you to confirm. So that's why you need to wait. You still need to wait. But actually now the kind a lot of other tools, even you can do it now in the cloud. So that means the AI will full control, take control the computer. You just give task to AI. Then, once AI finishes work, finishes job, AI will send you email, tell you finished. But today I just show you how we use AI as one real person to do the project. Okay, well, do the work. Maybe I show you new things because there's nothing to do. We just wait. You can see this keeping. Okay, I'll show you one good thing. Let me check. Okay, we just wait. I'll show you new things. I'll show you one new things. That's another magic. That's another magic. That's developed by Google. So we use the AI agent. Now GitHub AI agent, just like use now Circus. Now a lot of AI agent. You need to wait. You need to confirm. But this one will do the automatically. Will do the automatic to do. So you just sign up. You use the login with your GitHub account. Okay, continue. Yeah, you can see because AI want to create something. We want to create something. Then AI will ask. I think first now. Let's check. What's that? Okay, continue. Because now AI want to run this script, so I just do a check. Okay, doesn't matter. I say okay, continue. You can do it. No problem. Okay. So that's one now. You just now log in your GitHub account. Then give the project you are working. So you tell the AI what you want to do. Then AI will do the code for you. We'll finish. For example, you have one bug, then AI can do it for you. You have one new requirement, then AI will do for you. So once AI finish the work, they just send you email, tell you finish. So you don't need to do anything. Now, that's why I said that AI will soon now replace now real human. Because a lot of company, a lot of projects have bugs, then send to different develop. But now, for each bug, we just need to send to AI. AI will do the work. It will do the work. So, you can see there's a lot of now. I think you can find the address. You can find the address. Yeah, I think that's one very important tool now. Very important tool. You can do it. They give you some idea which one is better prompt, which one is good. So you can see. Once you ask AI to do some work, so avoid you not say fix everything, right? Because that's very hard. You fix everything. Not say now optimize your code. Not say make this better. You need to say the good problem. Add something, then fix the exact error. Document it now for something exactly. I mean, give more details. You give more details, then AI will do one good work. If you now not do, you just give one very general thing. Then AI now, well, because you can think AI just as one lazy developer. Everybody is lazy. AI is lazy too. You said fix everything. So what do you mean fix everything? If now one project have 100 bugs, so you fix 2 bugs, still fix everything. You fix 100, still everything. Because it's very hard to say if you have fixed everything. So if you tell AI exactly what you need to do, then AI will do the work very well. So that's now the good prompt and bad prompt. Okay. Let's continue. They are still working. So let's ask at the OpenAI key. We keep. Oh, finish so fast. Okay. You can see now the whole project. We don't need to do anything. Then AI finish the whole project. Let's just do a check. So they created now the project. They created the front end. Front end just one HTML front end. They give one README. You know what I mean? They give one documentation. Tell us the whole now structure, the first structure. The backend, the requirement. Also now the event now how to now put the some variable on the API key. Then you can see they create a lot of files. So I show you now two things I want to show you. One, now the agent just as one real person, just as one real employee. They do the work as one human. They do everything for you. You just give your requirement. That's one thing. Another thing now, all the code, even now it's a very simple project, is still one black hole, right? Still one black box. Even for me, because I think I know now this project very well, but I still now too hard to read the code now because one thing, because I don't want to spend a lot of time to check the code. That's the reason. Okay? So if we use now our new method, with the new AI agent, so everything will be now workflow. Everything will be diagram. So once AI finish the code, once AI finish the diagram, I can check immediately, understand what's the problem, if the logic is same as my requirement. So now I think a lot of if you do coding, you understand. If the code now have some errors, that doesn't matter because that's maybe now if you run the code or if you now compile the code, you get errors. Then it's very easy to fix. Only problem now if you have some logic error, then you run the code, you run the project, no errors, but get different results. That means logic error. That's very hard to fix. Also, that's very hard to find the problem. But if we change everything to workflow, we change everything to diagram, then it will be very easy to understand the logic. So that's why if we ask AI to write the code as a workflow, it will be very easy for you to do the code review. Even if it has a problem, it will be very easy to find the problem. So today I just show you the old ways. Now AI is very powerful. AI as one developer, they can do coding. But still, that's one black hole. That's one black box. That's very hard for anybody, even you are one developer. Ask you to check the code, to do the review code. Because that's one very simple project. If you make one bigger project, AI maybe gives a lot of trouble, gives a lot of problem. But it's very hard for you to test, review the code. If you are one non-technical person, you don't have any coding experience, we said web coding with the traditional way, I can tell you almost impossible. Maybe you can just do one toy, now just for play. But you cannot do one real project. But once our project finish, once our now workflow-based project finish, anybody can ask AI to do coding. Anybody can review the code to see if now is as your requirement. That's our project. That's our channel. We'll help everybody have the ability to ask AI to write the code, have the ability to check AI's work, to make the code review, to see if it's correct or not. All the things you just need to know the business logic. You don't need to have any coding experience. Then you can ask AI to do it, to check all the process. That's our channel. and this project will do. So, okay, thank you everybody. Now, because we just show the concept, we show the black box, we show how AI work. We will not test it. We will not test it because now we will introduce a new way to do the work. Okay, thank you everybody. Now, join today's video. We will see you next time.